Hello everyone and welcome to the Breakout Racing League Tier 4 Round 10 here at Hungary. I am your host, Cheese33. I'm going to be alone right now, but I have a co-commentator coming in soon. So, yeah, I'm just ready to get this race on the go. 16 drivers, that is above the highest average, which is 14 to 13, which is great. More racing, that's good. Yeah, just everyone is going to get on the track right now. I apologize if I'm going to be quiet for a bit, just setting, so yeah, on board with entered Caesar here. Going through the straight right now. Breaking roughly 75 meters. Oh, locks up a bit. Touch the apex. Make sure to not touch that curb on the right there. Turn 3 here. That counts as a corner. Usually you can take the whole track and gain some time off of there, but all good. It's just a banker. Turn 5. Takes it pretty clean. No invalidations. Purple sector 1. Make sure you avoid that curb of death there. Going through the second 2 chicanes. The curbs are really high here, so you have to avoid them if you don't want to unsettle the car. And this is probably the most challenging sections in the race because your tires overheat and he goes wide there. Doesn't invalidate. Keeps it clean. Going through turn 11. You can spin here really easily if you touch the inside curb. Turn 12. Keep doing it really. This is a really good banker overall there. Going through the final corner, it is really challenging to hook up a lap here. You can invalidate through this exit. Sets a 1:15.8 there. Oh, Titan though sets a 1:15.0. So 4 tenths separate each other. I think that is Whiffy coming across the line. 14.7. Fastest of the timetables. I think that is Ron. Yep, 4th fastest, 15.6, and his teammate Incan Raptor goes 6th, 16.0. So we're starting to see a lot of times showing up in this timetable. Yeah, this is going to be a very exciting Grand Prix. Don't worry, just loading up. Things happen. Cody's. You love to see it. Oh. So as I'm gonna join the lobby, I have some. Oh, error, failed to join the session. Okay then. Sorry for the technical difficulties here. This is annoying. There you go. Invite from Titan. There you go. Okay. Everything is good now. So I'm gonna load in the lobby now, and this is going to be an very, very It's exciting race. Just got the news that there's going to be heavy rain the whole race, so it's going to be even more challenging for the drivers here to I don't know if they have wet setups or dry setups. I don't know which one is fastest considering they're both going to be high speed and high aero. And my co-commentator just joined. Hello, Dom. How are you today?
Good evening, Vet. I'm not too bad, mate. How's things?
Yeah. Do you need? Let me invite you into the lobby right now.
Thank you very
There you go.
much.
Make the party invite only two. So yeah, I'm just talking to the viewers that it is going to be a full heavy sorry, yeah, heavy rain race. It's just this is going to be exciting, more challenge for the drivers here to stay on the track, stay on the circuit. There's going to be a lot more variety in the setups as well. Yeah, what do you feel about this track? I don't necessarily know if it's I haven't driven at all here in the rain, so I don't know. But what's your experience with it?
Um, in the wet, I've always found that it the curbs are something you really have to avoid. It's kind of like COVID. You really want to stay away from it. Um,
Yeah.
and not just that, you've really got to be very careful and cautious with the power. I mean, we saw at the end of the last race how cautious those boys were being
Mhm.
when it had just started to sort of drizzle a little bit. Um, Now, yeah, they're going to have the bonus that can be on full wet compound, and then if it dries up a little bit, maybe the intermediates. But so they're going to have the compound that is designed for the rain. But like I said, you're going to want to avoid the curbs. That right-hander, the long right-hander in sector 2, with the concrete curb on the
Mhm.
inside, going to want to stay away from that. Also, they're all going to want to be qualifying on softs, every single one of them.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's just going to be a waste of a strategy. You're going to waste a perfectly good lap time on a set of tyres that you're not going to use anyway because you're going to be starting on those wets.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's also going to be interesting to see who uses a slightly drier setup with slightly stiffer suspension to allow for maybe a faster lap time in quali, and then maybe slightly slower lap times and slightly more caution in the race. I know I've seen some people do that before, so yeah, that'll be quite interesting to see as well, seeing setups and how drivers react to the weather. Because I'm not sure how many times you guys have seen rain this season so far, um, but fortunately for myself in the leagues that I race in, I haven't seen
Mhm.
rain yet.
Yeah, and of course, speaking of the strategy there, in dry conditions, it would normally be soft, hard, soft, medium, soft. But right now, like you say, well, yeah, if it was dry conditions, we would see a lot of variety in people qualifying on mediums or people qualifying on softs. But now, you have to see everyone qualifying on soft because it's going to be a rain race throughout the whole of the race. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It is. It's going to be an interesting race. I mean, we saw what penalties can get you in the last race. I mean, TS Leclerc jumped 2 or 3 spots to
Mhm.
get a podium because he kept the race clean. Had Fitz have finished, he'd have finished fourth because he didn't have any penalties. So yeah, I say this in all of every time I commentate, no matter where it is. Stay clean, you'll jump places for sure, um, and
Mhm.
especially there are going to be a few DNFs, so be prepared for the safety cars. Also, be prepared for a safety car if it gets too wet. I've seen that a few times recently. And just don't get caught in people's spray because, I mean, Lando Norris was live recently, and even he said when
Yeah.
you're in the spray, you cannot see anything. The second you get 20 feet away from someone, you've lost them. You can't see that red light. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's also weird to see how the game sort of. So we know obviously qualifying is and held on a Saturday, usually in the evening. Um, so it's kind of weird to see that it's really nice and sunny here, and then it's going to be absolutely just grey, muggy, rainy, and just unbearable. So it's it
Mhm.
it's going to be interesting to see how the drivers adapt, um, especially because no one really practices in the wet. I don't think I know many people
Yeah.
that practice for a race in the wet as well, so that's going to be interesting because those that have practiced in the wet will be at a much higher advantage. In fact, I have a race here, tier 6, in a few days' time. I keep forgetting when tier 6 is, because obviously I'm in UK time, you guys are in American time, and it's held at a different time for
Oh,
us.
you're UK, hey.
So, but yeah, I think after seeing rain a few times at this track recently, I think I'll definitely be practicing in the wet. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is going to be an interesting watch. Also, I am very much sat on the F1 League standings, looking at the Tier 4 Drivers' Championships, and there's not really a massive gap between P1 and P4. I mean, 88 points for P4, which is Whiskey, and then there's 107 for Mitchie 950. There's Titan in there as well. He originally tried to get me into this league a few months back, at the time where I was kind of struggling with my pace a little bit. So I'm kind of glad I joined a little bit later, because I found a little bit more pace, and I've also learned how to drive that traction control. That's another thing. Is what are the assists on this league?
I think it's all are available, I would say, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's all available apart from full traction, so they should be a lot easier. I mean, the boys can switch on to medium traction if they know that the wet's going to be a bit too hard for them, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them do. But it'll be interesting to see the boys that don't put put medium traction on.
Yeah. Yeah, and now that we've been conversating, I mean, look at how gray it's been. There might be rain at the end of qualifying. I don't know what the weather on qualifying is, but yeah, that's definitely going to affect tire conditions and track temperatures and all sorts of that.
Oh, for sure. If you want to set a fast lap time and it stays this dark and the track temps start to drop the way they look like they could be doing, now would probably be the best time to get a lap time in. Cold track, cold tires. I mean, they're not going to be cold because obviously you're still putting them through their paces, but they'll stay a lot cooler. They won't burn out as fast, so you'll be able to put the car through a lot more. I believe we've lost a driver, Mitchie.
Yeah, Mitchie. Yeah, Mitchie's had a lot of confidence boosters. I think he's had 2 wins and 1 podium, so basically 3 podiums in a row, and that's not going to help him at all, obviously. But yeah, a lot of new drivers in this tier actually. Clips 29 in the Racing Point is currently in the pits. Let's see who else. Square, who was recently in tier 5, is now jumped to tier 4 there.
Yeah, by the looks of it, no limits, no EQL. I don't know if he's racing tonight. Yeah,
he's right now, I think. Yeah.
He turned up in, I believe that looks like Baku.
Yeah.
There's Waldo, and there's Waldo. Sorry, he turned up at Austria, and Incan Raptor turned up at Canada as well. So those two are quite new as well, by the looks of it. And No Limits is coming in and hit quite hard as well. He's come P2, P3, P6.
Yeah.
So he's come in and really disrupted the championship. And by the looks of it, whilst I was talking about the new drivers, it's raining. That could be the qualifying over. Yeah,
of course, I see No Limits on a lap right now, so he's definitely going to lose a lot of time through there. I want to see who else is. Incan Raptor's about to start his lap. Obviously, that's not going to help him with this rain. Fluky's also on an out lap. Yeah, everyone's on an out lap. So, that's just not ideal for them.
Oh no, for sure this is very much basically ended a lot of people's qualifying sessions. And when the rain comes out, your only real option is to just wait for it to really start to rain and then put the inters on, but at that point you're already slower. Because the soft compound tire is obviously the fastest compound tire available to the drivers, no matter what conditions you're in. So, by the looks of it, there's not really been many position changes. So Mitchie hitting the wall in sector 2 there. It's slightly. I'm not going to say it's benefited him, all,
Mm-hmm.
but this rain
Just
has
lucky.
benefited.
Yeah.
He's very much going to sort of take away a lot of confidence. I'm not going to say a confidence booster. I mean, he's still going to be in P3, so that is a massive confidence boost. But he's going to be sat there feeling very, very lucky.
Very, yeah.
Into the race.
Yeah, everyone's going into the pits there. I think that's Clip and it's Squared. Oh, yeah, it's Clips is on the lap.
Also, something to talk about. So, Flucky 4 153624 has only actually finished one race this season so far, and that was the first race at, I believe, Bahrain. He came P5. And yeah, since then it was a DNF, a DNS, a DNF, 4 DNFs in a row, sorry, and then 2 did not start. So starting here, and just finishing this race, and not just only finishing this race, but finishing just inside points will really help boost confidence as well, because the last thing you want really is to get your confidence knocked by yet another DNF, and I mean, I know how it feels. I don't really DNF often, but the second you get one DNF, it's very demoralizing, and 4 in a row, that can really make you feel like you're down in the gutter.
Ooh, Woka, collision with. Is that Chunky? Yeah, collision with Chunky. Something happened there.
Possibly a pit lane error, maybe?
No, they're in turn 6. Oh, well, I guess we'll never know, but I think that is your qualifying done there. Whiffy completes his 3rd pole of the season. Whiffy that is insane. That's the most poles out of everyone in this tier. That is incredible stuff from Whiffy. Clips on his debut, 2nd. Mitchie, 3rd. Average position for Mitchie, I'd say. Marvelin also on his debut, 4th. Groggy in 5th. Solid position there. Wilka in 6th. Titan 7th. Chunky 8th. Ron Swanson in 9th. No Limit in 10th. So both Mercedes in a comfortable position there. Oh.
Yeah.
Reptile outside the top 10. Usually, if you're outside the top 10, it would benefit you because it would be dry, but it's going to be raining. Yeah, it's basically that big story right now. That's going to be raining.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how many other races this week we've had as rain. I've been, a little bit busy here and there, but
you know a lot for being. You know a lot about this tier for just being the first time.
I definitely do a lot of research when it comes to a debut for comms. And obviously when you messaged me saying, look, are you able to fill in tonight? I was like, oh yeah, sure, not a problem. And as soon as you said it, obviously I was messaging you to make sure we had everything sorted and stuff like that. And as we were talking, I pulled up the tier 4 table that we've got in Discord and just started reading through it. And I've got it open next to me now just so I don't mess anything up. Because obviously I'm not sure on some of the drivers. I know Titan. I don't know him personally, but we've spoken a few times. That is very wet.
Looks like there's gonna be a lobby restart there. I'm looking in the tier 4 chat. You're not in it, I don't think.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
But by the looks of it, if drivers start leaving the session, I am going to automatically pre-assume that we are.
Yep. Yeah, we are. Lobby restarting. Everyone's leaving. Yeah, that's. I don't exactly know why. To my well, to my visual, it was okay. I don't know about you, Dom, but
Um,
I don't. Maybe he left the session.
I mean, everyone else has left the session, so I'm gonna guess that we're doing a restart here.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Also, I think it could be for the unfair 5 penalty
Yeah, that too.
if that was awarded for something that was blatantly obviously
Mhm.
like not fair, and the game had awarded it for an accident that the game had caused. Also, if anyone had joined in late, they might have been put at the back of the grid again because the game bugs now and then. I mean, I I've got the saying, let's start taking bets on how many timing glitches we get with the timing screens at the
Mhm.
start of a race. And I can guarantee the first 2 laps are going to be interesting to watch on the timing screens. Because you can probably bet that the last 3 people are going to be in the top 3, and you're going to be like, no, they're not.
Yeah, it's they said that they were gonna patch it, but they didn't. It's still going on. But of course we move. We're still here. I still haven't received an invite yet though. I can't join off of his profile.
Give me a moment, mate. I'm just going to take my hoodie off because it is really warm in my house.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, right now I'm going to show you guys this. Oh, okay. There you go. Yep. Red Bull of Wi-Fi winner. Wi-Fi winners Red Bull.
The standings.
Randoms joined. That's not good.
I am not aware as to whether or not they believe. I think that I'm a random, possibly, because obviously it was.
I think they do.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
They done a lobby restart because they thought your co-com was a random. That's brilliant. Is the lobby back up yet? Do you know?
Yeah, but I haven't received an invite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, never mind. I can join the game now. Good.
Yeah, if you send me an invite, we'll make sure that
Yeah.
I hit spectate as soon as I can. There you go. Yeah, Titans realised and sent me an invite kindly.
Okay. Cool. Maybe it was. Maybe he knew it was you then. Yeah, I think he knew it. I think it wasn't.
However, there is a possibility that a random joined somewhere and we just didn't pick it up
Yeah.
on the comms. Also, I'm really hoping someone caught the grid in full to make sure that it's correct.
Yeah. It wasn't you.
Oh,
That's
okay.
good.
Okay,
Yeah.
luckily.
Oh my god.
Could you imagine that? By the way, there are random joins, we need to restart. Oh yeah, what's the random name? Oh, Dom the Noodle. Oh yeah, that's my co-com for tonight. Oh, what have we done?
No, it was a guy in P18. I don't manage to recall him. Maybe it was one of the guys that I said they were on the debut. Maybe it was a Renault, I think. Yeah. But we're up and running. Expected time to restart is at 10:30 EST time, so that is in 3 minutes.
Awesome. Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah.
Awesome sauce.
Yeah. Great debut from Dom. Lobby restart. We probably thought it was you, but it wasn't. That's good. But yeah. Oh, okay then.
Better yet, I want to see the Constructors' Championship. So Mercedes are leading. Now I need to find out who's in Mercedes car.
Yeah, they were leading because there was this guy who got moved up to tier 3 races later. So you know how the league does the system where I think the top two in the championship or whoever they choose after 3 races gets moved up a tier.
Yeah,
That's what happened to me in tier 3, and that's what happened. It was this guy named Silkweaver, but yeah, he was leading a lot of the races, so they decided to move
oh
him up.
yeah,
And
he
Mercedes
was
are still
fast
leading,
tonight.
so
He was really
yeah.
fast tonight as well. I mean, I don't know if you watched the first race we had on BRL tonight, but he after that safety car, he kind of managed to just out of air, managed to just find a clean gap and just go. He was also behind another Mercedes, but I digress. And yeah, he was put through his paces, but he's a very fast driver, and if he's keeping up P2 consistently, good results in tier 3 consistently, he is too fast for tier 4.
Hmm.
Which is why I'm quite glad that a lot of leagues do that. They'll give like a 3 to 5 race grace period. If you're blatantly too fast, they'll look at you and say, maybe you're in the wrong tier here.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, I'm really gassy after that. Oh, I don't get gassy after coffee.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's weird. Oh, it's nice to see the AlphaTauri team in third, though. 146 points, 51 points behind the leader, and 39 points behind McLaren.
Yep. Everyone's going to ready up now. Don't forget your setups. Whoever's racing, watching, don't forget your setups, especially in the wet. If you have a normal setup, a default setup in the rain, and you're gonna have like 5-6 swings, it's not going to help you at all.
Oh, I have seen it. I have seen the stories. I've heard the stories. I've
Yep.
lived the stories. I have been the guy that's forgotten to put my setup on in the wet. And
Man.
good lord, and there's a league as well that I race in that don't allow setups. They only allow the preset 5. So you've got maximum downforce, and then you've got maximum speed, and then you've got the 3 in between. And I forgot to put my setup on that, and oh, good lord. Yeah, it's safe to say that I very quickly retired in the pits. Lap what?
Yeah, it's a very long race for a lot of drivers in the rain. I've said rain like 100 times by now. I apologize, but it's just huge striking point.
No, it's alright, mate, because you got a British commentator tonight, and what are the British known for? Rain. So I must have brought it with. I must
Yeah.
have brought it with me. I must have brought it across to Hungary with me. Ah, and you know what? The rain that they had there is it's type of rain that we'd call like a light rain, because
Uh-huh.
it really isn't that heavy in comparison.
Uh,
We
oh
get it a lot
wow.
worse. I want to know who finds this track a comfortable track. This looks slightly wetter than what we originally were given, but
Mhm.
I suppose you can't choose exactly what the last race had. So, I mean, it looks similar.
Yeah, it's inners inner. It should be inners conditions. If it's not, then something went wrong, but we have to still continue.
It'll be interesting either way. It'll be very interesting either way. Oh, someone readied up early.
Ooh. Well, that's how people forget their setups sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to spam chat with like 1,000 of those. chatbot, please don't hate me.
Okay. Formation lap now. By the way, Wilka's time 5-place grid penalty is going to be applied. So, still in the top 10, still in route for points, but yeah, starts are really tricky for everyone here. Oh yeah, you're right. It is wetter. Wet.
Yeah, those are full wets. It'll be interesting to see how these drivers cope. Especially those that, I mean, P2 clips. Looks like he's not running any traction control at all. It came down the hill slightly, and the back end sort of kicked out. There's another car a little bit further back. I will let you know who that is momentarily. I think it might have been Willico, actually. No, it's DMNT Square. Very much all over the place. Kind of like how Max Verstappen was at Imola on the restart. And
there's a racing point. Wado. Oh, Wado's disqualified. As long as Square. Okay, then.
Yeah,
something
Square
happened between
didn't
the
hit
two.
the brakes going into the chicane.
Ooh. Oh, he sneezed. He sneezed. He just put in the chat that he sneezed and he got distracted and he hit Wado. That is a huge... Yeah, the face palm emoji, as you would say.
Yeah. Oh, that's a rip.
It is a big rip, but everyone's going to be lining up across the line. Starts are going to be very, very slow around here, but we expect a very exciting race around here. The weather, it's going to be heavy rain to maybe light rain in the end of the race, but I'm excited to see how it goes out. Just waiting for everyone to line up on the grid, and we are set for Let's Out.
I'm gonna sit on board with Raptor right at the back just to see the madness that just continues.
Oh, please give me a better camera angle.
I mean, it's always the onboard for the last guy on the grid.
Alright, 5 lights. It is lights out and away we go. I think Clip's got a better start than Whiffy there. Oh, and the timetables have glitched. I don't know anyone. I'm going on board with Whiffy there. He is going alongside. There's an AlphaTauri alongside Clips there. Everyone's ghosting. So far, so good from everyone on the pack. Whiffy is leading along from Clips, along from Mitchie. There's 2 wide go. So Mercedes is across the grass. That's Chunky. And so far, so good from there. A few moments out wide. There's a Mercedes wide as well. That's Chunky. Chunky's really struggling. And the Renault just passed him there. Everyone's going, oh, there's a racing point outside in the back. No incidents so far here, but Mitchie is still right in the back of Clips.
No, Square has no front right end plate in the Haas.
Ooh.
I'm not sure how that came off because he was actually ahead of Caesar. Coming in. Oh, and there's a racing point with the front end plate either.
Oh, jeez.
Also, nice pull away from Raptor. Like I said, for the giggle. And he managed to jump all the way up from last to P12, if the timing boards are still correct. By the looks of it, they are.
Yeah, they are now. Good.
Yeah, he's managed to jump all the way from last to 12th. And I believe that racing point is Waldo? Yes, Waldo.
Yeah, Waldo and Waldo's going into the pits. He had front wing damage there. I wonder if Square is also going to the pits. Yeah, Square was struggling as well. He went wide in turn 10 there. But Whiffy is still leading. Whiffy is actually pulling a bit from Clips. Yeah, the top 3 is relatively separated, but Titan moved up into 4th. Great start from Titan there.
There
He's
is
under pressure.
a Mercedes of no limit. Yeah, he's not got front right end plate now either. He went into the
Oh.
back of Groggy. In turn, is it turn 3? The long left-hand hairpin? Do we class that as turn 3?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
The
yeah,
kink is classified as a corner.
yeah. So he went into there just a little bit too deep and has clipped the back end.
Ooh.
It's a racing incident for sure.
Yeah, the if he keeps it together and doesn't pit, the Mercedes are still relatively 7th and 8th, so they're still holding on to points to keep that constructors championship. But obviously, it's not in the lead, so they are losing points out to the likes of Whiffy and Mitchie and Titan, who, yeah, are in the championship as well.
Yeah, and not just that, but I've the F1 cars rely on the downforce a lot, and they require the car to be in basically perfect condition. I mean, you saw again at Imola what happened when Lewis Hamilton went over the sausage curbs and ripped the front left part of his end plate off at the bottom, and how much time that cost him and damage it cost him. So, you know, these cars require that downforce, and when you haven't got it, it feels like the car's a tugboat, and that can really upset the balance of the car. If the balance of the car gets upset, you 9 times out of 10 end up in a wall.
No bad is going on so far. A few people close to someone's gearboxes. Groggy's really close to Ron there. Battle for 5th.
Well, I mean, as a good old saying goes, I can't miss you if I'm literally underneath you.
Yeah. The only real opportunity to overtake, I'd say, is the straight, the big straight heading into turn 1 there. Besides that, it's not, there's not a lot of overtaking zones. There's not a lot of big straights and tight corners.
No, your only real overtaking opportunities are the main straight, maybe out of turn 1 if you can get better traction than the car ahead of you, and down the hill out of turn 3, well, out of turn 4. But again, it's one of those that you kind of gotta, if both drivers stick to their line and they sort of both kind of agree that the pass is going to happen or something like that, you might see a pass, but unless both drivers stick to their line, it's just going to cause an incident. So yeah, the main straight is probably a best bet for an overtake at this point. However, Groggy is really treating the wet conditions like the dry
really
conditions. Whiffy has got a pretty comfortable gap to Clips and has found quite a lot of traction in that Red Bull. Clips seems to be slightly a bit more over the place, a little bit more erratic on the wheel. I don't know if Clips is a pad player or not, but his reaction times are slightly more, slightly slower than Whiffy's, should we say?
Yeah, the difference to controller and wheel is a lot comparing with how tight the corner is, how fast it is, or the traction zones. And here in the wet, I think I would say controller is a very big advantage because of the game has this inbuilt traction system to make up for the corners because the inputs are slower than the wheel cell.
Yeah, for sure. And not just that. I mean, you kind of get the feel of the vibrations through the trigger on a controller. You don't quite get that with the pedal on a wheel, but you do get the wheel if you've got force feedback anyway, sort of fight back at you, and you start to figure out where the limit is when the car starts to slide and the wheel starts to fight back, and you're like, that's where the limit is. and then you end up in a wall. Also, whilst talking there, Lucky 4 picked up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Very easy to do on a wet track like this. And like I said, keep it clean and you'll bring home points. Waldo just picked up another 3-second time penalty as well.
Groggy might go for an overtake here. Both of them are using the overtake there. He's very close, but without the DRS assist, obviously, it is raining, so no DRS assist.
Oh, he's gonna
so
try and make that
close
move.
there. Super close. Still using the overtake, but
Oh.
Ron position. Oh, that was. Is that moving under braking? Oh, he's still sticking his nose in around the outside. Ron still has the inside line, and yeah, the downforce is noticeable there.
And
I think we saw Ron move a bit under braking. I don't know. What would you say about that?
I'd say that it was irresponsible from Groggy. He knew that that braking zone wasn't on in the wet. He shouldn't have made that move. Like we said previously, turn 1, anything out of turn 1 to the final corner is basically just a stick to your line and let the driver in front guide you through and pull you until the main straight, and that's where you overtake. If you can't get it done on the main straight and you don't have the confidence in the car ahead of you to get it done anywhere else, because you do need the confidence in the other car. You build a relationship with these drivers whilst you're racing in a league, and you know who you can drive next to, race in, race out. You know who you want to get past quickly because you know they can be dangerous. You want to know who you can have a good battle with, and that's what it boils down to: who you can have a good battle with. And that was a great battle until Groggy kind of just sent it a bit too far, and in which case this time it didn't quite pay off for him.
Yeah, he's heading into the pits now. Very, very unlucky. He was running in the points, and yeah, oh, is that Caesar? Sorry. Yep, Caesar spun on the straight. Something happened with him. I don't know exactly. I didn't catch that. Did you manage to catch that or something?
No, but he was sideways, so he might have just put the foot down a little bit too much on the main straight whilst it was slippy, because it's wet. You never have the throttle pinned at all. Not until it dries up properly, and even then you're still very faint on that throttle. So even in a straight line, these cars could spin at any time. It's a big risk to take.
No Limit is. I'm spectating No Limit right now, and he's doing relatively well. Without that end plate, I think it just depends on how good you feel with the car, and obviously No Limit wants to stay out, and he's running in a good position right now. But the rest, I'd say four people who have pitted they're gonna need a safety car if they want points. Whiffy set the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, not just that. I mean, it's something I do in preparation for a race. I'll practice the race with some kind of damage on the car, whether it be no front wing at all or slight front wing damage like missing an end plate. Because if you learn where the limits on the car are when it's broken, how fast you can push it, how much time you're gonna lose. And sometimes you can get lucky, and as long as you know how to control the car in the wet, like No Limit seems to be able to do, you might be able to pull out some decent points. And if you've really practiced, if he sat there and predicted wet weather, and he's practiced for wet weather, and not only practiced for wet weather, but practiced damage and wet weather, it could be a completely different story. Also, I said the best advice for these drivers would be to stay out of the penalties. And most of them have, but the other advice was to stay off the curbs, and most of them seem to be trying to use the curbs despite the amount of rain that's on them.
Yeah, I think in this game, the curbs don't really affect. Sorry, the wetness. How should I put it? The water doesn't really affect the curves in this game, I would say. So that's another penalty for Caesar, the third person to get a penalty here. Since it's rain, it's obviously slower conditions, so you can avoid more penalties, in my opinion.
Yeah, however, I have seen people pick up a disqualification under the safety car due to penalties conceded, because they were just trying to catch up to the safety car a bit too fast, and track limit picked up here, track limit picked up there.
Yeah.
You know, they've already racked up a few time penalties in the race, and before you know it, disqualified under safety car. That was interesting. Imagine explaining that one to the boss. Sorry, boss, I got disqualified from the race underneath a safety car for exceeding track limits.
Yeah, safety car really spiced this race up. Only lap 9 of this Grand Prix, 25 laps remaining.
Yeah, it's been a pretty slow race, and most of the drivers have tried to stay as cautious as possible, so there's a lot of real, like, quote-unquote filler work that you can do here, until a big move is made. Because, I mean, you've got the pack that starts with, I will figure out what driver that is momentarily, Flocky 4, and it ends with Broken Reptile just a bit further back. And then you've got the pack at the front then that starts with, I'd say, Whiffy, and runs back to Titan. Now, I don't see much happening until the weather dries up a little bit, if it dries up a little bit. Yeah. Also maybe undercuts as well, because, I mean, at this point the only real way to win is either a really good undercut or a really good overcut. It's perfect timing. That's what it all boils down to. Also, if it does go to intermediate tyres, it'll be interesting to see who keeps those wets on just a bit longer. But you don't want to be the first person to come in for intermediates. That's something I've always figured. If it's no matter what condition, you do not want to be the first person to move from, say, the wets to the inters, or the slicks to the inters, or even the inters to the slicks, because you don't want to be the first person to make a mistake on the wrong tyre. You know, say for instance now it dried up a little bit, Whiffy came in for the intermediates, crashed out, then clips Mitchie and Titan would all know, right, it's not quite ready for the intermediates yet, and then you'd go from there. Whereas, yeah, you don't want to be the first person on the fresh set, on a different compound in a way to what is recommended for the current weather condition. So it'll be, if it does dry up, it'll be interesting to see. I usually
trust Jeff.
Oh, I don't trust Jeff. I don't think anyone in F1 trusts Jeff. Jeff must be the most hated video game character of all time.
Yeah, he sometimes he makes some dumb decisions, but I think you have a point there. You don't want to be the first one to pit for inners, usually because, again, it's a game, so it doesn't really. It's usually always the same when it comes to inners to dry or wets to dry. Unless it's obvious that there's going to be long periods. Groggy, who pitted, sets the fastest lap. Clean air there. There's like three trains going on right now.
Yeah, Whiffy down to Titan, one down to Chunky Snacks, and Flunky 4 down to, if I'm not mistaken, that looks like a McLaren, so Broken Reptile. After that, you've got Groggy in clean air, Caesar in clean air, Waldo pushing to catch Caesar. I'll keep an eye on the I'll keep an eye on the delta time between them, and then Square again, another driver in clean air.
Yeah, those people behind really need a safety car if they want to save their race. Huge respect to them for not retiring. I would personally, I would do that if I was struggling with the car. I would just retire because I really can't be. Oh, there.
Oh,
Speaking of that, Caesar, second spin of the race. Very, very unfortunate for him.
oh, that's a, he is a long way into the kitty litter there. I think he
Yep.
spun that far off into the kitty litter that he actually hit the grass on the other side.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Whiffy's managed to pull another 5/10 on clips as well.
Mhm.
Make that 6/10. So, yeah, I mean, you've got your really good wet weather drivers, and Whiffy seems to be one of those guys. And then obviously you've got your. Let's be honest, you've got the drivers who are good in the wet, and you've got the drivers who aren't good in the wet, and that's a 3-second time penalty for Flunky 4. He will not be happy about that.
Yep, fourth driver in this race to do that. Surprising. I mean, I'm still kind of surprised that not a lot of drivers have gotten this much penalties. Oh, that is really. I think Mitchie got loose there, and Titan capitalized on that. Unfortunately, I couldn't capture that.
I'll keep an eye on that because Mitchie's going to want that position back. Also because he's in an AlphaTauri and I drive one of those in Tier 6.
Yeah, for combined constructors, that's crucial for the points. You can save a lot of ERS here, so you can use a lot.
It's weird. ERS is in the wet. It can be risky. You don't want to use it for acceleration out of the corner immediately, like you do in the dry. Caesar's picked up another 3 seconds, so that's 6 seconds. He's now net P12. So he's now out of the points in theory.
Oh, he spun again.
Yeah, that's a call that he'd have to make at this point. I don't know if he's in the wall though.
Yeah, he is. This happened last time in Austria, where he just kept spinning. Now he's about to get lapped by the race leader Whiffy, who has not arguably, but obviously have had a better race than him. Whiffy's doing really well in these conditions, I might add. I mean, he's coping with the pressure from the three behind him really well.
Yeah, he is, and yeah, I can see where Mitchie went wrong. The back end is getting a little bit loose on his car now. And Caesar's got 10 seconds for exceeding track limits.
Oh my god.
And he's also off into the pits.
He might retire, I don't know. Yep, he's gonna retire. 5-second penalty for speeding.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unlucky, mate. Sometimes it's just not your day. We all get them. Even the pros get them.
Yeah, we all get them.
I mean, look at Lewis Hamilton. He crashed and he wasn't even under pressure. 7-time world
great
champion.
drive from him in Imola.
Put it into a barrier. And then Toto Wolff told George Russell, if you want to seat in Mercedes next year, take out Bottas. Or cause a red flag.
Yeah. Or both.
Or both, yeah, just do both. And then ended up having three Mercedes-powered cars out of the race at Imola. But yeah, no, the back end of Mitchie is starting to get a little bit twitchy under braking, which is the last thing you want. He might have been running a slightly lower downforce just to make sure he's got that outright speed, but it can cause a few problems. And that's another thing. Lower downforce means the back end can get twitchy because there isn't enough pushing the car down, and too much downforce can push too much pressure on the tyres, meaning the load on the tyres can start to wear faster. So it's a really uneven mix, and you've really got to get it perfect. And it seems like that Whiffy has, and Mitchie is on his way to possibly make an undercut here.
Oh, yeah, he is going to the pits. You're right. Oh, he went relatively slow coming into the pit lane. That's gonna cost him time, obviously. But I think it's still the right conditions to go on this wet. I don't see why he would go on the inners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was P4. So far, he's only dropped what seems to be 6 positions. No. 8 positions.
Ooh.
8 positions,
8.
but then again, everyone around him does also have to pit. Everyone ahead of him is still yet to pit.
Yeah, he still has a bit of traffic to deal with, though. That's what makes undercuts and overcuts so effective in tracks like these, because you cannot overtake a lot. So Michi's gonna, yeah, I think this is relatively early for the wets.
Yeah, I mean, even if you take an onboard with, like, pick a driver, any driver that's currently in a pack. For instance, I'm on board with Mitchie now, and it's still very much just a spray out there behind those cars. That little red light that's flashing to tell people, you know, there is a car here. Look, don't hit me, is almost invisible at certain distances now. So yeah, to change to inters at this point for anyone would be almost insane. As Groggy picks up another 3-second time penalty, I want to say.
Ooh, Mitchie on Reptile. Around the outside. He still has his nose in. Oh, goes wide a bit, but still using the overtake. He's committed to the move still. Limit has gone into the pits. Will Mitchie pass him and go for the dive bomb in turn 1? Oh, he thinks about it. He sticks his nose in. Reptile leaves him the space. Mitchie cannot hold it on there. He did not have the traction. He still has the overtake on. Oh. I don't know. I think that was great car positioning from Reptile to defend his position, but obviously that's not going to help Mitchie if he wants to undercut the top 3 in front. Obviously the 2 Alfa Romeo teammates, Reptile and Mitchie, have raced each other a lot, battling for wins.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great for Mitchie if he's looking for the undercut, but it's great for the viewers. Oh, it's so good for the viewers to watch a battle that good. And I mean, Mitchie's shown that he can fight with the front pack, and if this is Reptile's way of saying, yeah, but look, I've got a mate up there. You know, he needs good points tonight. Can I just hold you back a little bit, please? And it was great car positioning from Reptile. Great defending, and it wasn't too aggressive from either driver. It was very smooth, very respectful, and neither driver once looked like they were going to show signs of, yeah, I'm just going to hit you.
Yep, Ron in the pits, but we'll focus on Mitchie now. Mitchie's obviously going to want to pass Reptile. He's still the same gap as he was last lap, but will he make the move this time? No, dive bomb, no. I think he's going to be
finding that dry
game
line
now.
It's finding that dry line. You find the dry line, you find traction. That's what he's looking
visibly
for.
See the, you can visibly see the dry line, but it's still wet. Oh my God! Look how freaking close Mitchie is to Reptile.
And he's going to send it up the inside of
move.
Possibly one of the fastest corners around this track.
Yeah, that would have been risky if he did.
Now, had he have thrown it and sent it into the chicane, I might have had a bit of a worry going on.
Yeah, he's getting hold up so freaking much by these cars. I mean, jeez.
Yeah, he
not
really
the right
is.
strategy call. Oh, Whiffy is in the pits. Whiffy, Klitz, and Titan. All of them 3 are in the pits. So if they jump each other or hold each other in the pits, that will be massive. I think Whiffy did get held up a bit by Titan, but not enough to change positions. Yeah, both of them are the same. Look how much Mitchie. Yeah, Mitchie is not even close to them. Look at them coming out. That is just insane strategy. That was sorry. Very unlucky strategy from Mitchie.
It is. It really is. And I would be almost heartbroken knowing that, you know, you've gone into the pits for an undercut and you've been held up. And I mean, I can see as to why Reptile might have done it. I mean, you know, like you said, Whiffy, Clips, and Titan.
He is still battling. Yeah, Reptile is still battling for the championship here. So.
Yeah, I mean, his teammate Titan was in that fight, and if you know, and if Titan needs to get good points here tonight for the McLaren team to put them ahead that little bit, Reptile will be doing almost anything he can that is, like, you know, pushing the boundaries of the rules to make sure that happens. Now, obviously, you won't crash someone out intentionally, or you don't look to crash someone out ever, really. It's not something you want to do. First of all, it's really unsportsmanlike, and second of all, it's just going to end up ruining your race because you'll probably get a disqualification post-race, and it's just so much drama that comes with it. So you just kind of have to hold him up, good car position, and make your car look as wide as possible. Almost become a bus in a way.
Raptors in the pits now. Whiffy is really close to Fowler. Whiffy, Clips, and Titan are really just setting their stone here in this race. They've been the best of the whole pack here. But yeah, an extra position for Michi, that is good. But he still has one more car for clean air. He's not that far, a few seconds away from Whiffy, and if he plays his cards right and gets good luck, and Whiffy gets hold up by Chunky and Fowler, he could be still in that fight for the podium.
Yeah, he could be. Also, not just that, but I mean, it's Formula One, right? Anything can happen. Any of those boys that are, you know, due to go into the top 3 after Chunky and Flunky 4 both pit. So, you know, Whiffy, Clips, and Titan, any of those at any time could get a penalty, crash out by a spin, crash out with another one of them, and then he jumps 2 places. You know, a safety car could happen at any point. It's Formula One. Stranger things have happened. So yeah, he could still potentially win this with the right. God would have to come down and put his hand on Mitchie's shoulder and say, "You've got this," and then just cause havoc.
Yeah. That was Whiffy almost going for a move on Fowler there.
However,
Yeah,
Mitchie has got the inside of Frizy.
Yeah, I see that. That's good. Good traction. Finally, some good traction and some clean air. But he's still under pressure by the 3 cars behind him, and Whiffy is still getting hold up a bit. But I've been in this position before. I mean, clean air in the wet is very, very beneficial. Almost seconds every lap. So he's going to be pushing to still be in the fight for the podium. It's very, very optimistic, I would say, but it could happen if Whiffy and Clips and Titan still get held up enough by Fowler and Chunky Snacks.
Oh yeah, and I mean, he's only 7 points. Well, he was 7.7 behind, and he's now 7.3, 7.4, give or take. So he's still got the ability to catch. And it looks like Whiffy's being held up by the 2 front runners. Now, it doesn't look like either of them are coming into the pits just yet. It looks like Flunky is waiting for for Chunky Snags to make the first move.
Yeah.
And possibly hold him up a little bit in the pits, maybe. If so, interesting move. But the longer they stay out, the longer that Whiffy is going to be held up. And the longer that he's held up, the longer that Clips and Titan are as well, the closer that Mitchie can get. So like I said, this is F1, anything can happen, and this is happening.
Oh, that's Reptile! Oh, Reptile in the back of Frizy. Reptile is spun, and he's going to lose 3 positions out of that. And Groggy's up in a P8. Ron Swanson P9, and No Limit barely gets into the points. They're very unlucky from Reptile there. I don't know. I think he just outbroke himself and got into the back of Frizy, and then Groggy just wrong place, wrong time. He just couldn't do anything about it. I don't think you saw that, did you?
I didn't. I was keeping an eye on the gap between Clips, between Titan, Clips, Whiffy, and basically the top 5, and Flunky's taking it wide. This could be, no, it's not gonna happen. It is gonna happen. Whiffy has just
finally
sent it
down the inside.
Wow.
Oh. Well, Fowler had the potential to get that switch back, but he just lost traction. Now he lost 3 positions from it. That's definitely going to help the top 3 there. Groggy and Frizy also battling. Groggy very close to his gearbox, and that's Ron Swanson and Low Limit as well. Frizy's going to the pits, so that is some clean air for Groggy, and No Limit is still in the back of Ron Swanson using the overtake. No DRS, obviously. He isn't really gaining.
So Square is the first person to make the move. I think at this point it's kind of well, I'm last anyway, so
yeah,
someone might as well give it a shot. He is now on the intermediates. Frizy has come in. He's put the wets back on. However, again, Flunky 4 and Chunky Snacks have stayed out. They are really looking to put those intermediates on at the right time. I just don't think it's going to be worth it. I
don't think Square's... By the way he's driving right now, he is struggling. He is... no apex speed at all. But he's still continuing. Not into the pits yet. Maybe, just maybe, he could pull it out, but I don't know.
Yeah. Snags needs to pit. I've just seen his exit out of the penultimate corner, and I mean, I've just seen his exit out of the last corner too, and it's very slow, very sluggish. He's bogging down. He's having to shift up. You know, he's having to quick shift, not 1, not 2, but 3 gears at a time sometimes. I mean, he's taken the exit of turn 1 at 4th, 5th gear. You know, he's short shifted into 6th, so just to get out of the corner properly, that's a long way to go just to find traction. And those tires are now going to be... I would like to see his tire wear percentage at this point. It would be very, very nice to see his tire percentage.
Yeah, as you were talking there, Whiffy tried to go for a move on Chunky. Didn't work. He's still on the back of him. Wow, this top 4 is extremely close. One mistake, and like you saw with Fowler, one mistake, and you lose a lot of positions there.
Oh yeah, you know, he at the back end sort of wiggled a little bit. He went off out of the exit of the turn that Whiffy's just gone through, and it cost him big time. And he's refusing to get on another set of wet tires. And Snag's the same. They're both refusing to because they think it's going to dry up. I mean, first of all, mandatory pit stop, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. I believe I heard somewhere as long as you can take the wets to the end, you're allowed to.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a big risk to take. And if Snags can pull it off, congratulations, mate, because that's something even I wouldn't have.
Yep. As we're speaking about it, Whiffy around the outside. Sorry for interrupting you there, but Chunky's still trying to hold on there. Is Clips gonna go as well? Clips is getting the has a lot of traction around the outside of Chunky. Chunky lost 2 positions there. Titan might capitalize on that as well. Titan with the switchback there on Chunky. Chunky goes wide onto the grass, and he loses 3 positions from that. Fowler is not far behind either. Wow, the 1-2 from Chunky and Fowler is now 4-5. That is great overtaking from the top 3 there.
Yeah, it was. It just goes to show that if they needed a sign to get off of those wets,
Mhm.
um, that was that was the proper New York billboard on Times Square saying, "Hey, look at
Yeah.
me, you need to pit." And yeah, I mean, not only has he lost 3 positions, but he's also lost 3 seconds to Titan as well. Um, that's really not paid off, and he should
Yep.
start thinking quite quickly about a pit stop, because at this point, what's he gaining out of it?
He's still gaining a couple of positions though. He's still in front of No Limit, which he was. Oh, Mitchie down the inside of Fowler. You can see the difference between new and old tires now. Fowler onto the curbs. That disturbs his traction there. And Mitchie makes the move done onto the chase of P4. I don't think he... Well, maybe podium. I don't know.
It's very possible. We've still got 10 laps, and if Snag's tires
Mhm.
blow, which they could, they very much could. He's put a lot of life on them. This isn't the nicest track to take the wets for the full track. And I mean, as you saw when he got overtaken 3 times in within 2-3 corners, um, he had just no traction out of the corner. So all Mitchie's got to do is find the traction out of the corner, and he's beaten Snags.
Yeah.
It's
He is...
it's an easy position.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the top three are still really close. Whiffy's pulling a bit from Clips and Tyne. Tyne is doing extremely well in the wet. I don't think he's gotten a podium in a long time. I don't think.
I will update you now.
Yep.
Phone unlock. Titan had a podium last week. He had a P3, but
Oh.
before that it was.
Oh yeah. I remember interviewing him.
Before that it was a 7th place, a 6th place. He didn't finish twice, and then he got a win before that. So yeah, he had a podium last week. 2 P3s in a row. Be happy with that. I mean, I'm happy to get P10 most of the time. I got in the points last week because of a few crash outs and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I feel really good, and then remembered that the only reason that I got in the points was because several people crashed out, and I was like, oh, now I feel, now I feel really down. Snacks has no traction. Oh,
Fowler in the pits into the intermediates. Yeah, the intermediates have sorry, the track conditions have dried up a bit, I would say. So that I think that was really good shot. Oh, Chunky's gone. Chunky is spun. He's really struggling. I don't think.
he's got a puncture.
I think. Oh, does he actually?
Left rear. He has a puncture.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry, but Fowler timed that so perfectly. I mean, he could have gotten a puncture as well. Now Chunky has a puncture. That's the second time this season he has a puncture, trying to stretch out some tires, but oh, he's just limping. Lewis Hamilton like. That's gonna hold up Inkin and Fowler there. Fowler, who was just behind him a couple laps ago, and now passes him with ease. Chunky, oh man, that was. I don't know if I would say unlucky, but it's just unfortunate for him.
I can't even say dumb luck. It's just, how would you say it? Ignorance possibly.
I mean, I think he was on this for the same strategy as Fowler. Maybe he thought that there wasn't intermediates conditions yet. There was one person in the pits. I think that was Square. Yeah, Square came to DNF. Poor guy. He was in the back for a long time, but Chunky's now in P14 as well. That's very, very unfortunate for him.
Oh, Chunky is very much down and out of this race now. It's almost impossible for him to turn this car around in the conditions that they're in.
Yeah.
And at this point, he's being caught. So he was caught by Whiffy, who then had a beautiful overtake. The top three had a beautiful overtake on him, and now they're catching him again to just lap him because he's made a mistake. he was ignorant with his tires, and it's cost him big time.
Yeah, I like I say, he was on for the same strategy I say as Fowler, and it would have paid off, but it hasn't, unfortunately.
I was gonna make a joke
that's
there,
just so unfortunate.
saying I'm surprised he's gone in this lap. I'm surprised he hasn't stayed out for another lap on those laps. But not everyone gets my dry sense of humor.
Well, yeah, yeah. 30 viewers watching. Thank you for everyone for watching. That's, I think, the most that I've gotten spectators. Wilka on Ron there down the inside, both on the wets.
He's also gone into the intermediates,
Really
so hopefully the conditions are good enough for those intermediates.
Yeah, the conditions are drying up a lot, and I see Fowler is, I think he's doing well on those inners compared to Incan. I think they're pretty reasonably the same on pace, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, tires have still got to scrub in. Yeah, a lap old intermediates, you know, are kind of like hards in a way. They take a couple of laps to warm up and really kick in properly. So yeah, give it a couple of laps maybe, and it should be up to racing speed. And luckily, you know, with all the guys on ahead of them on wet tires, they're still pushing that rain aside. So
Ooh, Fowler down the inside. I'm sorry for interrupting you, but he just capitalized on that exit on Incan. The tires the inners are definitely faster. Sorry for interrupting you again.
mate, it's not a problem. I'm here to assist you, and I have done a lot of talking tonight. So
yeah, we've done reasonably well.
If any point you want to cut in, it's something I've always said. You know, if you see something, jump in front of me, because I'm usually
groggy
chatting,
in the pits.
racing.
Again. Yeah.
Groggy, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if Groggy goes to the intermediates.
I would say yeah.
Yeah, he has.
A lot of people are going to the intermediates now. Reptile's in the intermediates too, and he's battling Frizy again. So who is on the wets? So it's really helping a lot of people and really not helping some people. But Broken Reptile using the overtake. He's not gaining a lot. He's gonna go down the inside with the wet line. Oh, very awkward between the two. Broken Reptile, 3-second time penalty for cutting the corner. That's a really awkward corner to go down the inside on. Oh, sorry, Incan Raptor, sorry. Reptile around the outside of Frizy. Frizy still fighting back. Oh, misjudges his braking zone, and Frizy still stays in front. That's going to be, I think, investigated by the stewards there. Frizy misjudged his braking point, but Reptile's going to have to wait one more lap to overtake him again.
Yeah, quite right. And Whiffy seems to be struggling.
Really? Hold on. Well, I think everyone in the top 7 is struggling there. They're all on wets.
Yeah, he's exiting corners in 5th, 6th gear just to keep the traction down, and it's really causing a problem. It'll be...
Oh, that's someone gone.
rather interesting.
I don't see anyone gone. Okay. But Ron on the wets. Fowler is overtaking him before the apex. Yeah, Ron into the pits. But I think this is the point where the intermediates are faster than the wets. You can tell by all the overtaking that's going on around here. And Reptile's going to go one more time on Frizy here.
Yeah,
I think,
but the last thing you want to do in, you know, as the top 6 runners here, especially with most people behind you having penalties, is pit now. Because even if like, you know, 6 of you hold off one person on the intermediates, that's still 6 of you that are finishing higher in points than that person that put those tyres on. No, Whiffy will need to come in by the looks of it. He is really, really struggling for that grip. Yellow flag.
Yeah, we saw the battle. Oh, that's Titan! Titan is spun and is out of podium contention. Mitchie's passed him. No Limit is on his side. Oh my god, that's so unfortunate for Titan. He was on for the podium. Does he have a puncture? No, he doesn't.
No, like I said, I mean, Whiffy's struggling with traction, so it's possible that, you know, Titan being on tyres that are roughly the same amount of laps, is struggling with it a little bit more.
He's drifting a lot. Oh my god, look at Titan. He's just...
He doesn't seem to have any damage, which is always a plus, I suppose.
Yeah. He just spun.
Yeah.
Riptile's finally gone past Frizy. Yeah, I think actually... Oh, Clips has just passed Frizy. Oh, I didn't catch that. Ah. Clips on his debut. Wow, he's doing very well, especially with the pole god Whiffy winner.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he got a sort of a hint that Whiffy was struggling for traction, it was just game on for Clips. He kind of hit attack mode, targeted Whiffy and just went for it. All of his effort was put into that overtake, and it paid off. He's now in clean air. He's not following him, and following is something you kind of can get away with in the wet weather, because I mean the water's already going in towards the engine bay as it is, but if one car's pulling heat towards your engine, it's also keeping your engine just as warm. So, you know, you're able to keep it out for a little bit longer, and Titan just managed to put his car sideways around the last turn. However, he has now been overtaken by Groggy, who is the leading intermediate tyre runner.
Groggy has capitalized a lot on those intermediates. That was a great strategy call from him. After, yeah, he was the first person that pitted, I think, well, aside from Square, but he was the first person who pitted, and he was relatively matching pace with the wet runners, and now he's doing extremely well.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Titan's really struggling. He can't keep that car straight.
He's down into 7th. He was in 3rd. That's wow.
That's really unfortunate.
The top 4, I think, would go to the end on the wets. They are stretching it, and for the likes of Whiffy, who, yeah, like you said, are struggling a lot. It's gonna be definitely tough. What, a 3-second?
So the problem that Titan has now is because of the way that he's been driving that car, the fact that he's been sending it sideways and drifting it around every corner, is that those tires are going to be on fire. They're going to be so hot that they're going to need to cool down, and he's either going to have to take a lot of the wet line, and when I say the wet line, I mean like the line that's still not dry, in comparison, to cool them down, or put a fresh set on. He stayed out for now, but at this point, I think coming in would just be a waste of perfectly good points.
Yeah. Groggy is catching up to Mitchie a lot here on the intermediates. He could get podium on track if he passes him in the next 2 laps, but obviously with that penalty, with penalties now, 3 seconds for Groggy, 12 seconds for Fowler. Oh, that's a lot. And now, as I say that, Groggy is capitalizing on the struggle for traction on Mitchie, and he goes down the inside on the chicane. That is a great move from Groggy on the intermediate tires compared to Mitchie on 17 lap old wets. You can tell the difference, a lot of the difference there is that Whiffy! Whiffy's gone! Whiffy has front wing damage, and now Groggy's gonna get P2 from this!
Oh, good
Mitchie might get
Lord.
P2 as well. Whiffy's on the track as well. Whiffy's on the track, which is good. Good news for him, but Groggy is gonna get P2, and he's 11 seconds up the road on Clips. Clips is on a different level from all of these drivers right now. He is just keeping his tires right, managing his tires right, sorry. But he's losing a lot of time to Groggy there, and Whiffy and Fowler are battling. Fowler's going to go
Fowler's
down
just
the inside
taking him.
of Whiffy. Sorry?
Fowler's just going to take him, put the car on the inside of the line, and just hold your position. It's your corner, it's your race. Also, after that, I suggest you take a drink. You sounded like your throat dried up a lot.
Yeah, this is just insane. These insane final laps. I'm studying a lot as well. Penultimate lap.
Yeah, I mean, I
we're
thought
seeing a lot
tier
of
6
position
was
changes.
I thought tier 6 was the one to watch for comical entertainment, but this has been brilliant. You know, you're
Yeah.
seeing drivers stay out for longer than they should do, and it's cost, you know, it's cost Snags a possible decent points finish because of a puncture. It's cost Whiffy a podium finish by the looks of it. I can't confirm that at the moment, but for now, it looks like he could lose that podium position because of his just. None of those boys wanted to break. None of those boys wanted to go onto the intermediate tyres. They'd already pitted once. They didn't want to do a two-stop.
Yep.
So it's really
Groggy's
caused
on
an issue
clips
here.
now for the lead.
And he's got it. Those intermediates have worked an absolute treat for Groggy tonight.
Yeah, Clips is struggling a lot. If Groggy can pull these 3 seconds from Clips, this will be an insane victory. But now we have a battle for the lead, arguably, here. And you can see how much Clips is struggling. And Groggy already has 2 seconds from Clips. Groggy might make this. Groggy might win. How many positions has he gained? 3 positions from this. That is wow, incredible.
Yeah, he's.
I'm just out of breath. He's out of that 3-second mark. Clips has a 3-second. So Groggy is going, if he keeps it clean, through these next 2 sectors, he will win the Grand Prix on track, and he will win based off of penalties as well.
Yeah, and not only that, but if Flunky 4 can, you know, find an extra 2 seconds on Whiffy in this last
He might
lap,
get the podium as well, yeah.
he could also keep that podium position. That could mean that the 3 winners are all penalty takers. I haven't seen that in my career.
Groggy is going to cross the line to win the Hungarian Grand Prix. That was an insane victory, and Fluky battling Clips up into P2, but a P3 on track, I'd say. Reptile and Whiffy! Whiffy has spun! Whiffy! Oh my god, I think he spun from a battle there, but Reptile's gonna settle in for 4th, and Fluky is gonna get that 3rd place there. Mitchie, 5th. Wets. Sorry, wow, I'm just lost for words. Mitchie takes the tires 20 laps and Ron 6th. No Limit 7th, Whiffy 8th. That was very, very unfortunate for Whiffy. That was just spun 2 times. Willica 9th, and Titan settles in for the final points ping position. Oh my god, Dom, that was just insane. I mean, Clips was the only one out of Whiffy and Titan to keep it clean and stay on the podium, and that was just an insane race. I'm just lost for words. That was just wow.
Yeah, so remember around lap 10 when I said the race was boring? I take it back. What was I thinking? That was as soon as the pit stop started to come in and people started to change their strategies out, thinking about the drier weather later in the race. As soon as you saw those boys stay out for a little bit longer, it very much opened up the grid, and a lot of drivers benefited from those intermediate tyres. And people that stayed on the wets really didn't benefit from staying on that one-stop strategy at all tonight.
Yeah, those people on the intermediates were just flying at the final flaps.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you boys for racing in the wet weather. So now I have some kind of idea on what strategy I'm running
Yeah.
if the same thing happens in
Yeah.
tier 6. That would be great.
Yep. We're gonna do interviews now, which
Yes, no problem,
I
mate.
think probably my favorite part of the of commentary. Still relatively 30 viewers. That is insane. Thank you guys. Groggy with the win. That was just an insane drive from him. Eclipse P2 Four or 4. Sorry, 4. Yeah, sorry, 4. 4 in P3. Only one driver on the intermediates. Yeah, Power. Yeah, I know. I'm just changing it right now, and I'm very sorry for calling you that. I think I called you that the whole season, and now I'm changing it. Yep, fluky. Okay. So now that everyone is here, what a race. Let's start with 4. Uh, wow. I mean, podium there with great strategy call from you. Talk us through your race. I mean, that was just a breathtaking last final laps. Mhm. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Any questions for you, Dom?
Yeah. Obviously you mentioned the pit stop. Well, obviously, I forgot who you were battling. His name skipped me. Yeah, Chunky. Obviously he stayed out and it caused a puncture. Yeah. Was it at that point that you knew that you could bump positions? Because obviously, you were both struggling on the wets, and okay, they were worn.
Yeah. 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 That was insane. Um, Clips. On your debut. Great race. Do you feel you could have gone for the win though? That's one doubt that sorry, one question that I have for you. Do you feel you could have gotten more out of those wet tires, or are you just happy for this podium? Hmm. Oh. Yeah. Dom?
Yeah, obviously you said you were, you were in the red zone for your temperatures. Were you trying to use as much of the quote-unquote non-dry line as possible to keep them cold, or was it just if I put my car on the racing line, no one can pass me sort of thing? Well, that is fair enough, and congratulations on a P2 on your debut as well. That's a lot better than what I managed. I managed 8 last week. So,
Yeah.
so yeah,
And now,
congratulations.
oh my god. Last but finally not least, you get your first win ever in this season. I think this is your first win. I don't know if you've mentioned this before, like your first win in BRL, I think, maybe?
Yeah, this is my first one in BRL actually, and this race was such a top, like up and down race for me. Holy crap!
Yeah, I know. I mean, that was just an insane. Just talk us through your race. I mean, just highlight. I want you to highlight more on that, on those inner stints, on those overtakes and everything. But yeah, talk us through your race.
So actually, in a weird way, I got damaged on lap 5 behind Ron because just it was on turn 2. He
Hmm.
just like broke. It was like a racing incident. I had to pit early. I knew I could get to down in wets, but then as in clean air, actually, I knew it was fast in clean air, so I kept catching, and every time I got behind traffic, it would be, obviously slow me down. But I was coming around like lap 25, lap 26. My tires were actually soon getting around that 60% range, and I was not going to make it to down on wets. So my race engineer, B-Dunk, shout outs to him, he gave me the idea, like to go on to intermediate tires with like 6 laps to go, and because I was going to get punctured anyway, so I went for the gamble and like, why not? And I just started cutting my way through the field like butter. I was like surprised I was catching them so fast, and then it just somehow got into the first by the final lap. So it was a good comeback drive. I'm just surprised and disbelief what just happened. That was a crazy race. Oh my god.
Yeah. Dom, anything from you?
Yeah, so you didn't finish last race. You got a podium, and not just a podium, but a P1 in this race. What are your aspirations for the next race?
It's gonna be about just survival because next race is my worst track spot for like my DNF rate and stuff. So I just gotta hope just finish and get some points. To be honest, this is one of the best tracks, Hungary. So I knew I was gonna do well here.
Well, congratulations on your first win, and a win in general as well.
Thank you. It was a tough race.
Yep. Thank you guys. I'm going to be closing down the stream. It was just an exciting race. I'm just
Oh, it was a great race.
yeah. Tomorrow is Tier 2 and Tier 1, and on Monday is going to be Tier 5 and Tier 6. So stay tuned for that, and we will see you next week for Spa.